Turn your phone on silent. Good evening, my fellow Bahamians. I want to thank all of you for spending the evening with me. Tonight is the eve of Judgment Day. You actually know when Judgment Day is? It's tomorrow. It's May 12, 20. And so we are live in Pinewood Gardens at our Pinewood headquarters. And so we're here. I know I didn't announce this live, but we are here and we are preparing for tomorrow. And we hope that you're also preparing for tomorrow because this is a crossroad. We are at a critical crossroad. And we want all Bahamians to take this seriously. And that's why I decided to have this last effort to speak to you seriously, to speak to you and let you understand the seriousness of what's happening here. That our country will never be the same depending on how we vote. This election is going to make us or break us. It's going to take us 50 years forward or 50 years backwards. I want to make some adjustments. Give me 1 sec to make some adjustments to the sound. The sound is okay, but it's not perfect. But we'll just make some adjustment quickly, and we'll get that right. So just give us a sec. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are. And so we are literally 10 hours away. 10 hours, 43 minutes, and 30 seconds away. 10 hours, 43 minutes, and 30 seconds away from the start of Judgment Day. And I want to have a serious, sober conversation with you. Tonight, other parties are going to be shaking up themselves and telling you to just vote for them. They're going to be displaying the cult mentality. Just vote for your party. Don't question anything. Don't question what they've done in the past. Don't question what they're going to do in the future. Just shake up yourself. Drink beer and drink chicken. But we want something different. This is not a cult. The PLP and FNM are cults. In fact, they are a cult. They are one cult that has been working together to deceive all of the Bahamian people. And it's time for us to wake up and escape from this cult. To wake up and realize that the only people benefiting in this cult are the leaders of that cult. Every single election, they get rich while we suffer and serve them. We pay all the taxes while the money is funneled to them. And at some point, we got to wake up and realize that that cult mentality isn't benefiting this nation. You got to wake up and rise up. And anytime you try to break away from the cult, they target you. They go after you. They attack you. They lie on you. They defame you. Because you choose to wake up. Because you choose to break away from that demonic situation. My Bahamian people, this is your last chance. I'm Lincoln Bain. I'm a runaway slave. I escaped the cult and the cult mentality. I escaped the system. The system that's not just politicians. It's not just it's not just pastors that are part of it. It's not just judges that are part of it. It's an entire system that's made to keep you uneducated and keep you poor, so that they feel like gods to you when they come with their little handouts, because you believe that you're the blame for being poor. You're not the blame. It's the system that they put in place. And every 5 years, they're going to find more and more ways to make it more difficult for you to survive. They're going to tax you more when they don't even need the taxes to have a proper country. They're going to find every way to make life miserable for you. They're going to make sure you can't get easy access to loans. If you put a business on a $60,000 loan, they're going to say no. If you put a car on that $60,000 loan, they're going to say yes. Same 60,000. But if it's to benefit you, they destroy you. Their mission was to keep us ignorant because ignorance is power. They want to keep us ignorant so that we don't know our own value. It's the Cinderella story. The Cinderella story was that Cinderella is the one who really owned the mansion. But they beat her down, they treated her like trash, and they let the foreigners to the house, which are her stepsisters, come in and rule everything. But they kept her down so she never knew her power. She never knew what she was entitled to. And they kept her as the worker and the slave. They kept her on her knees scrubbing floors while they lived a good life. The Bahamas is the Cinderella story. And it's time for you, my baby people, to wake up. I'm Lincoln Bay, and I've come to wake you up and show you a new way and show you a different way. And today we're going to talk about that different way. I know this is unorthodox. I know. I know that you have a choice. That you can continue with the way things have been going and allow it to get worse and worse, or you can decide to try something different. Either way, change will come. There's going to be change. It's going to change for the better or it's going to change for the worse. You have to decide, my baby people. This is it. There is no election after this. This is the last election that we will be the majority. I don't want to spend the night reminding you of the failures of the PLP and FNF. I want to talk about the new Bahamas. I could sit here and show you the hospital, but you're feeling that. If I have to tell you that again, then you need to think seriously about how serious you take this nation. I can come and talk to you tonight, but I won't, about the immigration crisis. You can see what's happening right before your eyes. You can see everything failing in this nation. You can see it. But not only can you see it, you can feel it. And everyone is feeling it. The young man told me that, no matter who wins, he still has to go to work. He still has to make his own money. Yes, that is true. That is very true. Guess what? Your money isn't what it used to be. Your dollar isn't what it used to be. And it's getting worse and worse. Because yes, you can work and pay for your own apartment, but now a one-bedroom apartment that used to be $500 is now $1,500. You see what just happened to your dollar? They're destroying your dollar. But your pay is not changing. Do you see what is happening in the food store? Your electricity bill, etc. So yes, you have to work for yourself. You have to make your own money. But you voting for the PLP or allowing them to continue to destroy this country, it's affecting you. For those people who say they're not voting, well, there are people who didn't vote last election. You see what happened? Now a one-bedroom apartment is $1,500. The price of eggs went up to $10 at one point. Your electricity is through the roof, but not reliable. Do you see what is happening? Bahamas, we have to do something. Only the politicians are living their best life. We got to do something. And that's what this is going to be about today. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to take questions from you. It's not about shaking up and dancing today because our country is in trouble. This is about a real discussion about the way forward. How do we do this? All questions are welcome. If you know someone, a family member who don't understand, like they don't believe something can happen, they don't believe this can happen or that can happen, tell them to call in. Let's have the conversation tonight. I'm willing to be here as long as it takes to have that conversation with you. This is it. After tomorrow, it's going to be the Bahamas before 2026 election and after the 2026 election. The question is, do you want to move forward into New Bahamas or continue? The problem I have with both parties is that I read their plans. I studied their plans. I see nothing in their plans to lead this country forward. All I'm hearing is band-aids for current situations. And it's only some of the situations. There's no hope in what they're bringing to you. Well, we got a hope for a bright future for not only your children, but for you. We want to build up the country by building up the Bahamian people. And that's the discussion that we want to have today. I want to outline a few things in different areas of our plan. Just a few of them. And we want to have discussion. I want to answer your questions. I want you to seriously say to me, Lincoln, can this really happen? Tell us how. Show us how. That is what tonight is all about. I know we're expecting epic speeches that is going to motivate you and inspire you. But I think it's time for us to vote with this and not with emotion. It's time, y'all. Let's think about what we are doing to our country. And so I want to start tonight this conversation. And I'm going down the menu of our, so I don't have anything prepared in front of me. This is just our website. And I'm just going down the menu of the different titles. And I want to talk about different areas so that you can know where we're going in that area, just briefly. And then I'll open it up for all of you to be a part of this. And in the end, I'm going to bring it all together. So the first thing in the menu is immigration. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in an immigration crisis, but we can do something about it. We released our 100-day plan for immigration. We released our Vision 2030 immigration plan. If you go to our website, you will see the 100-day plan for immigration. What will we do on day 1? What will we do on day 2? What will we do on day 7? What will we do on day 30? The 100-day plan. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Immigration. We are going to declare a national state of emergency as it relates to immigration because we are suffering from an immigration crisis. This is serious, Bahamas. This is the most serious it has ever been. Like Loftus Roker said just before he died a few years ago, the Bahamians are going to lose their Bahamas. Finland said it. If Bahamians are not prepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then they don't deserve to have it. Did you hear how he ended that? Not just that you're going to lose it, but that you don't deserve to have it. Because you're going to sit down and let people just come and take your country over. That is for you and your children. There's some people saying all of us are Africans. How come it's only all of us are Africans when it comes to other people benefiting from what is ours? Right. But why can't we benefit from what's theirs since all of us is African? Right. Right. Why can't we go to their country and buy property? Right. Why can't we go to their country and run for office? Right. Why can't we go to their country and build a house, open a business? How come we only Africans, all Africans, when it's time for them to benefit from what's ours? Right. No, the Bahamas is for Bahamians. And that is what the COI is all about. And that's what we've been fighting for. That's what we've been defending. And so we're going to continue to do that. We're going to declare a state of national emergency. That is going to empower us to do certain things. And certain things will happen. We're going to allow persons time to come to us. If you don't come to us, we come in for you. If you come to us, we're going to put you in the system, register you, and if you already have a job that Bahamians can do and you have somewhere to live, not a shanty town, you can remain in the country. But if you don't come to us and we have to come looking for you and we will find you, you are going to be jailed, you're going to do hard labor, and you are going to build our new Bahamas. Help to build our Bahamas. That's what you came for, to work. We're going to put you to work, just not the way you expected. So come forward, be regularized. And the reason we want you regularized is not because we're bad. It's because we want you to have a driver's license. So that when you're driving around in the cars, you have a license and insurance. So when you hit our Bahamian people's cars, you don't jump out the car and break off running in the bush because you don't have a license or insurance. We want this country to operate properly, man. It's time for order. And we're going to have order in our country. We want you to be able to have a bank account so you don't have to keep your money under the mattress and get robbed. We want if a woman who is working in our country is assaulted or raped in any kind of way, that she can go and make a complaint to the police station. She's not afraid because she is regularized. We need order in our country, man. We don't want any politician getting money under the table to give anyone documents in this country. We're going to treat you like you committed treason if you do that. If you commit any treason as it relates to our country's documents, you're going to get life in prison. You will never see the sun again. That's because this is a serious matter. Our passport should not be disabled. Persons should not be able to overthrow our country with false passports. They should not be able to overthrow our country with false voters' cards. This is about our very existence, and we're going to treat this with the utmost seriousness. Our passports are for Bahamians and all those who deserve to be Bahamians. We are going to take this seriously. We're going to bring an end to this. Any politician who takes part in this corruption is going to be treated like they committed treason. Because to sell out our passports and sell out our position in this country is treason. And we're going to fix that. Moving forward, there will be no more naturalization in this country. If you are not a Bahamian when you are born, you will never be able to become a Bahamian. It is the end of that nonsense. Why is that important, Bahamas? That is important because all of our surrounding neighbors have millions of people.
Right.
We have 200,000 adults. They can overrun us at any time. Bahamas, wake up. It's happening. And so, just like Dubai and Qatar and other countries did, if you are not a Bahamian at birth, you can forget it. All right? And so, moving forward, only persons born in the Bahamas to a Bahamian parent, inside or outside the Bahamas, to a Bahamian parent, will be allowed to be a Bahamian. That's the new way. And so, that's it. You're not going to be able to come to this country illegally, buy a passport, and then run for prime minister. No, that's the case right now. Anyone can become naturalized from anywhere in the world, and they can run for office. You heard people like Louis George saying that they want to run for prime minister, and they feel that they're going to have the numbers so that you can't stop that, because they keep selling all the documents so that eventually we can have an outright prime minister from another country with that country's agenda. We've got to defend ourselves. To the men of this country, we got to stand up for our women and children. We got to do what's right. For our women, we know that you love our country and your concern is for your children. If you don't stand with me, you're going to lose this country. There will be nothing for your children. Your tears will not help. They will suffer. Lest we do something. And I'm here to do something. The COI is here to do something. We've got to do something. The question is, what are you going to do? We're going to put stiff immigration measures in place. We're going to defend our borders. We're going to make sure the boats are working. We're going to use fast boats to be able to move quickly. We're not using those big $300 million boats. That $300 million you spend on a boat for the defense force could have been spent on a cruise ship that you could make money from. But we're spending on these big defense force boats that break down all the time. And they're made in Europe So you have to send them back to Europe to get repaired. They're not thinking, let's transform this country. So, ladies and gentlemen, as it relates to immigration, the only party you can trust is the COI. The FNM is now talking about immigration because they know it's a hot button election topic. They know that. They know that everyone is talking about it, everyone feels it, so they're just talking about it for talking's sake. Guess what? Where were they this whole time when immigration was going crazy? They were not there fighting for this. They don't care about this. You got to wake up. The FNM will do nothing about immigration. They got to move on. Culture is the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to transform culture. I talked about a lot of it last night, and so I'm not gonna go into details today. You can look at yesterday's live, and you can see what we talked about. We had Isaiah Taylor, the leader of Bahamas, on this, and we talked about how we're going to transform Bay Street. We're going to close down Nassau and make it a cobblestone area, and that's from George Street to Parliament Street. And we're going to have people entertaining in the streets. We're going to have choirs and song and dance, etc., on the streets. When tourists come here, it's going to be an exciting place to be. Restaurants with tables and chairs outside. That people can just be outside and eat their favorite ice cream, eat their favorite Bahamian dish, and it can be a place to hang out. It's going to be entertainment, nighttime entertainment, so that the cruise ships have a reason to stay. When you look east of East Street on Bay Street, we're going to take, there's a lot of space, a lot of buildings there, a lot of abandoned buildings, a lot of space that we're going to take over. We're going to take that area over and we're going to build theaters that rival and beat the theaters in Times Square. And these are going to be filled with shows. Filled with shows. We have a lot of talented people who can do Broadway style shows, who went to school for this, but they have no kind of outlet to get this done. People like Dynamite Daisy, people like Michelle Butler. There's a lot of talented Bahamians who can transform the culture on Bay Street, and we're going to do this. The money is there. We're going to make it happen. And so any cruise ship, any tourist that comes here from the airport or to the cruise ship, they're not going to want to leave Nassau without seeing our amazing shows, our amazing talent. It's going to be something that the world talks about. It's going to make news how great this is going to be. I'm talking about real productions, not cheesy productions, real production. That's going to be mind-blowing. Incorporating technology and high wires and all kinds of things that will blow people's minds. We can do this. We talked about having a theater where we can have a residency for Bahamas. Everyone who comes on that cruise ship, 20 million cruise ship tourists that we're going to have in short order. Cruise ship alone. When they come, they will want to see Bahamas. Bahamas is one of the most famous groups in world history. And if they can come to the Bahamas and there's a show where they can go and see Bahamas every night or every other night, they will pay top dollar for that. And so tourists from Japan, from China, from Europe, from America, Canada, all of them will want to see Bahamas. We won't be able to hold the people. And guess what? The money from this is going to our sovereign wealth fund, and some of the money from it is going to Bahamas. And so we're going to empower our people. There are going to be other acts that open up for Bahamas that's going to be able to get fame because of it, get exposure because of it. And other Bahamian groups are going to be a part of this. And so now we're going to bring this whole entertainment thing to life. Actual shows that people can watch, not just on the weekend, on other days too. Now the cruise ships will have a reason to stay in port again. These are real ideas. For culture, we heard Michael Pintar talking about some of the ideas he heard from us, but we're going to repeat these ideas because, basically what people are saying is that Pintar and the PLP and the FNM, they're copying our ideas. Well, let me make this clear to you. If you feel like that's what's happening, what they're really doing is legitimizing us. because the copy can never be as good as the original.
Right.
And that's why when they copy it, they can't sell it in the proper way. And so we know how to get this done. We're talking to the professionals around the world to get these things done. We're talking to the local professionals to get these things done. And so we're going to build Junkanoo museums. At these museums, they're going to be amazing facilities, huge facilities, where, and you need those facilities to display these Junkanoo costumes. Our Junkanoo costumes will not go to waste again. They will be in these museums, and every Junkanoo builder who contributed to building these costumes will get a piece of the pay from the tourists coming to pay to see these costumes that we recycle yearly. And so they're going to make money from this personally, and then their Junkanoo group will get money from it, and then the Sovereign Wealth Fund will get part of the money from it. Did you notice that I'm giving you ideas how you're going to make money from the Sovereign Wealth Fund? And I'm not even talking about the natural resources yet. The Sovereign Wealth Fund is not just about natural resources or carbon credits. There's other things that we're going to go into, and the money is going into the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And we're going to make money from all of these things. So they're saying, but Lincoln, where the money's coming from? Stay tuned. Keep listening and keep paying attention. And so also, tourists will come and pay for tickets to be able to participate in building Junkanoo costumes. They can build Junkanoo costumes for themselves. They can spend a couple hours with us, and they can make their own mask, their own costume. They can face it. They can do whatever they want. They can start with half-done costumes, and they can decorate it with beads, etc., etc. And they can walk away with a souvenir that is worth a lifetime. And so they will pay for that, to participate in that. And so that's going to be an amazing experience for tourists. And that's another form of income for the Junkanoo groups. So all of the Junkanoo groups will have their own museum. And so these Junkanoo groups will make extra money from people coming in to see the museum or to participate, which is a different price. And they can also see Junkanoo shows live in the theater in that museum. Junkanoo performances, the drummers doing drum routine, the horns, etc., doing their favorite music, playing music as Bahamian music or even American music in our style, because it's about the entertainment. They can see the story of John Canoe, and this will be mind blowing for people to experience it. People don't travel to stay in a hotel room; they travel for an experience. The problem is there is little experience in the Bahamas right now because we only focus on hotel rooms. We're going to transform this. So now we're about making money in different ways, not about taxing the people to death. Listen to all the ways that we're making money so far. And so these Junkanoo museums are also going to be where the Junkanoo groups build their costume for the year, build their costume to get ready for Junkanoo. That's going to be at the end of the year. And there's going to be a Junkanoo festival. I heard Pinta now saying that. He's heard us say that over and over. But now, we're going to do this for real. He had a chance to be Minister of Culture, and he didn't do it. And so now we're going to have a Junkanoo festival. So Junkanoo won't be just Christmas and New Year's. There's going to be a whole festival behind it that goes for 7 days from Christmas all the way to New Year's, and it's a whole festival that's going on. And so it's going to be a lot going on with our Junkanoo. Also, Junkanoo is going to be every day on Bay Street. When you go to Universal Theater, when you go to Universal, you see the parade every hour on hour. All right? You see, when you go to Disney, you see the parade every hour on hour. How is it that tourists come here and can't experience Junkanoo? All right? That's our truck, right? Firewood. That's not right. Fine. Take a show you all. Yeah. Oh, they got an impromptu cave going on. Got that one cave going on. Thank you to those find the people who put that together themselves. They put together their own motorcade. And they're driving around with the truck. They're driving around with the truck. All right? And so Thank you all for that. Um, so we're talking about the culture. Jumping is going to be every day on Bay Street, constantly. And so all of these things, what do they mean? There's going to be plays, there's going to be music sessions, there's going to be jumping on Bay Street. That means that people can be full time in culture. Did you hear me just now? People can now be full time in culture. Full time. So you can focus on your creative skills and make it better and better and better. People can be full time making jungle costumes because they can work in a museum and they can do this for a living. So now it's going to cause them to get better and better and better at their craft. This is going to transform culture in this country. Culture has been my life. I've traveled the world. I've been successful around the world. I know Pintar, because he writes plays, says that he's culture, but I've had international success with culture, and that's why I'm so ingrained in this. Not just music, but other forms of culture, actual acting, and other things that I've been involved in. We're going to make sure that Bahamians have opportunities in these areas, all right? And for those Bahamians who uh, are on social media and your social media influencers, guess what? We are going to make the arrangements so you can actually get paid for it. We know how to do it. Brave don't really want it. That's why they didn't do it. They tricked you. But we're going to make sure that you are able to get paid for your social media videos from here in the Bahamas. All right? And for your social media content. So just stay tuned. This week, if you vote for it, it's going to happen. Now, if you vote them same old fellas, then things going to stay the same. But if you want to make money from your social media content, hey, it's a chance to transform your life. And so that's culture in a nutshell. We're gonna transform Junkanoo. Our plan is to increase everything until we're spending $30 million a year on Junkanoo because it's a return on investment. It's the greatest show on earth, and we should invest in it. All right. If they can invest 30 million on Junkanoo Carnival, we can invest 30 million on Junkanoo. And so that is what we are going to do. We're going to transform Junkanoo in the way it's run. It's going to be organized properly. Junkanoo is the good part about having the Junkanoo village right on the eastern side of Bay Street is because now the costumes don't have to come from some far place. You don't need container trucks to get the costumes over the hill, causing Junkanoo Star to be late. No, all you do is put them right out of the museum on the eastern side of Bay Street, put them right into the streets, and you're ready to go. Because we're now going to start Junkanoo from the eastern side of Bay Street. All right, probably as far down as the bridge. Everyone's going to line up at the same time. They're going to line up, and just like they do in the parades in the U.S., everyone lines up, and then everyone moves with enough space between each of them. And now you don't have any wait anymore, waiting for the next group to line up and get ready and beat their drums and whatever it is they're doing. Costumes are ready right there on Bay Street because that's where they were made. They put them into the street, they line up, and whoever is first, yeah, you line up in your order, and you start from that side of Bay Street, and then you head west on Bay Street. So the direction is going to change. You head west on Bay Street, and you come to the same Gordon Square, which is the entertainment mecca, and you continue going towards the Hilton. Around the Hilton on Marlborough Street is going to be the break area where you catch a break and you can regroup yourself. And then you start it again after you pass the Hilton right by Margaritaville, and you end it on that last stretch, and you end somewhere on Clifford Park or Awaki in that area where the festival will be going on. So, and there's a total festival that's already going on, and the Ravens are making money from participating and being a part of this festival. Isn't this a new vision, a new direction? Doesn't it all make sense? Won't it finally be a solution for Junkanoo? And then we're going to spend money on it. And we're going to make sure that everyone gets a seat. The tickets won't sell out as fast because it's going to be spread out more. It's going to be more linear. It's not going to be a circle anymore. It's going to be one line that starts in the eastern side of Bay Street and ends in the Fort Charlotte, etc. area. All right? That's the vision for culture, along with other things we're going to do. I can't get into everything. Excuse me, about the TV show stuff, about the way we're going to empower our musicians again, the way it was done before the PLC took over. The UBP used to take our musicians around the world. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to create opportunities for them. because we're taking our culture on our cruise ships, etc. Our cruise ships we're gonna buy. We're gonna have entertainment on the cruise ship. Our cruise. They're gonna have junk food on the cruise ships. They're gonna have our culture, our food, etc. on the cruise ships. They're gonna have shows on the cruise ships in the theater that people are gonna want to come. Limbo dancing, all of this stuff that's gone away is gonna come back. Those experts in it, we can't let them die out and carry their craft with them. We gotta get back in there. We used to have the drum beat and King Eric and Knight and what's it, Peter Taylor. These guys, we got to get back into our culture. It's time. We got to do this. And so we're gonna wake this up. Again, the F&M didn't do it. The PLP has never done it. We are going to rescue this because tourism is about what people do, not where they stay. And so we're going to fix this up. And culture and tourism is going to work hand in hand to get this done. So that there's a lot of talented Bahamians who can do that. You know how Bahamians got talent, right? They just don't have no opportunity. Listen to me, man. I was riding on one motorbike at our massive motorcade in Grand Bahama. Before our motorcade was finished, they already had a school. They already had a school for me riding on the motorbike. That's talent. Not only did they have to sell on the blue bike, like I was on a blue bike, they had the police driving behind them. How they get the police bike? That's how talented our people are. We have a lot of talent, and we got to bring this talent out. And by getting this stuff on Netflix, etc., it's going to help with promoting our tourism. Why? Because when they watch it on TV, they go, oh, that's one of those Bahamas shows. It's one of those Bahamas shows. Just like you watch the African movies, you say that's the African movies. You think about Africa. But in our case, people are going to be thinking about visiting the Bahamas because they're watching these Bahamas shows that they can relate to. Just like the African movies make you sit down and watch them because you can relate to the story. That's how we're going to empower our people to do the same thing. So I can't go into everything with it, but I'm going to stop there right there for now. We're having a real conversation tonight because this is what you have to choose. 50 years forward or staying backwards. Next, we're going to talk about disaster preparedness. That's the next one on the list. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing any government that is taking over should be talking about or thinking about is hurricane. Every government, from Finland to Ingram to Perry Christie, every government was met with a hurricane. And so, why aren't we prepared for that? Why aren't we the world experts in hurricane and hurricane response? That's a part of our life. We should be the ones teaching the world how to get this done. We got to get this right. And so, the first thing we're going to prepare for when we get in, in fact, we already have the plans ready. The first thing is hurricane preparedness. What's going to happen if a hurricane hits Southern Islands? What's going to happen if it hits Northern Islands? We're going to start building hurricane shelters that are multi-purpose, that can be used for entertainment in the meantime, where tourists who come on the cruise ships can get some entertainment. We plan the whole thing out. And so these buildings can also be used for housing our people during hurricane with special storage rooms that store everything we need. Everything is going to be stored there. Our food is going to be stored there. Every couple of years, we're going to sell them out and place them so that we have fresh food in there. Canned food, etc., lasts a long time, but we're going to move them out and in every so often. But we're going to make sure that when the hurricane happens on Eleuthera, for example, they'll already have a storage ready. They don't need to wait for some foreigners to come in and bring them some water because we're going to have a storage room, like the story of Joseph. We're going to store in good times so that when bad times come, we're going to have everything we need. And so we're going to store enough food for our people so that after the storm, that they can have everything they need right there on island and don't have to wait for a rescue to come from anywhere. All right. And if the food is not used after a period of time, we're going to sell it off on the cheap, and we're going to replace it every so often. But this is what we have to do. We are going to store food and medicine and emergency supplies, everything we need at our shelters. They're going to be built for that. And so we're going to be the foremost experts in that. And we're going to now be able to respond to hurricanes, etc., right away. All right? And so that's the vision. We've already released, so I won't do it again tonight. We've already released amazing plans, actual plans showing the actual buildings that we're going to put these that are going to be used for the hurricane shelters. We're ready to do this from day one. We are more than ready from day one to get all of this stuff done. We're going to make sure we have evacuations coordinated, and we're also going to work with other countries to assist us with evacuation. Because we're going to have cruise ships eventually, these ships in emergency are going to be used to be able to house our people after an emergency. Just think of that. The ships will be used to make a lot of money for us, billions of dollars for us, taking people around the Bahamas, moving the economy around the Bahamas. But at the time of emergency, the ships can be used to either evacuate our people or house our people temporarily away from where the trouble is coming. Because we talk about evacuation, but one day a storm could come and come right up the entire Bahamas from Managua and come straight up Nassau, straight up to Grand Bahama. That could happen. So evacuation won't work. But if we are able to move our people to other places, partner with other countries, be able to move our people around and to be able to house our people on ships who can't get into hurricane shelters, we're going to be able to save a lot of lives and recover very quickly. And so we've thought all of this stuff through, so it's very doable, and we're going to be ready for this. We're going to make sure that the theft that happened under the F&M, listen, the F&M committed so much theft and crimes after Hurricane Dorian that it's a crime against humanity. I can't believe that people are actually paying attention to F&M after what they did to Raven people. It was Clinton, it was Crazy Thompson, it was Rain Sands, it was all of them. They did that to us. But hey, somehow we're thinking, oh, Brave is so bad, let's go to the people who ripped us off last time, who robbed us last time, who destroyed this country after Dorian last time. They stole the generators, man. People donated generators. They stole them. They took them. People donated building supplies. They just stole them. Just heartless. They didn't care. And what they didn't steal, they hid. They hid them. Many of you don't know this, but a lot of generators was bought in Dorian and they hid them. And when the PLP came, they auctioned them off. You all know that? Yeah, a lot of stuff. But I talk about the generators for a reason. I talk about generators for a reason. Then the PLP came in, they auctioned them off. Well, guess what? We got the generators. And that's the generators we gave away. We got the generators. And that's the generators. Remember, last Christmas, we gave away generators. Those generators came from Dorian. We've been looking out for the Bahamian people. So it cost us to be able to get those. But guess what? And thanks to persons who donated to make that happen, or donated them, but we gave them away. That's what was supposed to happen from the break. Yeah. We've been looking out for y'all. We don't tell every tale, we don't tell every story. But that's where the generated that we gave away, where it came from. Let's continue. We're talking about good governance. Good governance is a serious thing in this country. We've not had good governance for a very long time. Well, as a part of our story about good governance, we are doing what we call island, states, and city government. Because I don't know about y'all, but I tired of politicians failing us, man. I tired of it. I tired of having to run down the politicians to get anything done, for them to put up some speed bump, for them to put up some stop signs. That ain't the politician's job. Why don't we have a system where it can just work? Why do we have to go to the politician for the contracts in your community? It's because they want control who get the contract to keep the money in their hands. Because they give it to their people, not just when they're clicking, not just the people in their party. They give it to their people who's going to give them a piece of the pie, who's going to give them a cut of the money, who's going to inflate it and keep their mouth shut. So even sometimes when they go through the bidding process, someone wins it, and then they find an excuse to say, oh, we got to add more money to it. And they inflate it. And they give them a piece of the pie. And that's what's been wrong with this country. We're going to fix that. And so one of the main reasons we're going to fix that, ways we're going to fix that, is the island states and city government. It means that the money on your island stays on your island. We want each island to generate an income, to generate an economy, to have their own GDP. The power of America is that they are 50 countries in one. Europe caught on to that and they say, okay, we need to do a European Union. We got to work together. Because unity is strength. We believe that if Andres could keep their own money, if Grand Bahama could keep their own money, Africa could keep their own money, Luke could keep their own money, and they can develop their own islands. Bahamas, y'all want that, or y'all just want more handouts from the FNM and PLP? No. Brave is not going to do that for you. Pintan is not going to do that for you. We are going to do that for you. Every single family island is neglected. Every single family island is neglected. How much more of this are you going to take? If you had your own money, wouldn't you have your own ambulances? Wouldn't you have your fire trucks? Wouldn't your roads be tarred properly? Wouldn't your schools be proper? Would you be able to build your docks and do all of these things? Island states and city government is the only way. Any party that's not talking about that wants to keep the contracts and the money to themselves. Remember last time under the FNM, what happened? Ransomet in 1 year got $60,000 worth of no, sorry, thank you. Good production team in there. He got 60,000 too. Ransomet got $60 million in no bid contract. No bid contract. We going back to that? Seriously? They don't pay on time. Someone said they don't pay on time either. And so we're going to have good governance. And so city government means that we break all of our islands up in the city, including New Providence. And the cities govern themselves. We have a city council that approves the budget, and you determine what happens. That means the citizens of the city, they vote on what happens in their community. The reason Carmichael Road area is a city is because it doesn't just have residential areas. It has stores. It has shopping plazas. You don't need to come out of Carmichael. To be honest with you, that's why it's a city. We got to transform the South into that. If you're in the Pinewood constituency, where are you going to rent a building to have a business? You can't. You have to leave Pinewood to get most of what you need. And so we're going to make this, all of the South, into a city. We have a lot of space back there by the canals, and we're going to transform how this works. But remember, you're going to be the ones doing this. You're going to decide what should happen in your community. And now you're going to make sure your roads are straight. You have a mayor. And the thing about a mayor is, the most important part about a mayor is, he can be fired. You don't have to wait 5 years to fire him. The city council can fire him. And so now you're going to have accountability. Because when you have someone who can get fired now, see, the politicians come running the paved road and do these things after 5 years. Why? Because now you have the power to fire them. But if you have someone who can get fired on any day, what he do is work all the time. This is the shift that we need. Okay? And so we want good governance in that way. We are going to treat uh, corruption, like I said, as a capital offense. Go on our website, look at our plan for good governance, and you're going to see a lot of details in there. All right? And so the bribery and all this stuff that's happening, it's not going to happen anymore. All right? But go and look at it, and you'll see how serious we're taking this. We're going to jail corrupt politicians for a very long time. All right? And yeah. Now, in terms of procurement, we're going to use a blockchain AI system where when you get your business license, you're going to be able to opt in to participate. Yeah. You're going to be able to opt in to participate in government procurement because you have a business license. You're in the system. And so you're going to be able to opt in. And once you opt in, once opportunities are out there, once tenders go out, you're going to be able to log into your system. You're going to get notifications, or you can log in to see that, oh, you're in the paint business and the government needs paint for something. You can get the contract for that. All right. Now, we're going to have certain things put aside for certain groups of people. So young people, for example, the problem with being young is that they tell you you don't have no experience, so they can't give you the job. So we're going to have a certain percentage of contracts that go just to young people, certain low-risk contracts. And so if we need to buy paint and you're in that business, we're going to start buying it from you. If we need to paint government buildings, we're going to give you the contract to do it. What if you mess up? You get a slight against your name. And so the contracts will not deal with a human being. The contracts will not go to a politician. It's going to be done by an algorithm. Every company is going to be graded. And so based on your grade and your bid, because for example, you might have gotten a bid last time, but you didn't finish the job or you messed up the job. They're going to be able to grade you based on that. And so when you put in a bid again, you might do less than someone else, but that person did more than you, has a better grading than you because of their performance. And so you could lose that bid because of your performance. We're going to have a country that is built on merit, not on corruption, not on who you know. Those days are over. And so this procurement system will be an automated system. You're dealing with algorithms, not humans, and you're going to get it because you deserve to get it. And as you finish jobs on time, on the budget, et cetera, you're going to get high grades. Young people are going to be able to build up their reputation so that now you can take more and more risk on them. And so now they'll be getting big contracts, et cetera, et cetera. We're just going to have certain contracts set aside for companies owned by females and for companies owned by disabled people who can function, to make sure that they have an opportunity to do something. Not just, young man can't walk, but he can do stuff with his hand, so he can do IT contracts for the government, etc. And he can get things done. Because some of them, once they come for an interview, the minute someone sees they can't walk, their job, yeah. The minute someone comes for a job, they see they can't walk, that's out the window. And so there are deaf people who can do certain work. All right. There's even blind people who can do certain work. We want to make sure that some of these contracts is earmarked for them. The only persons in those situations will even get that bid. All right. And so we want to make sure that this thing goes around to all Bahamian people, and we have a benefit to benefit from this money. The good part about good governance is, Minister always says that $1.3 billion is stolen every single year to contracts. My numbers show $1.5 billion. All of that is money that we are now going to be able to use for our country because the stealing is over. What they do is they will have $1 million contract, fluff it up to 10 million, and they stole the 9 million. That's the money that Minister is talking about. The corruption. It is demonic. And we got to fix that. You all ready to fix that? Yes. And so there's so much more that we can talk about as relates to good governance. But just go to our plans, you're going to see a difference there that can move us forward. I want to get to more of this, and I want to hear from you. Food security. Food security. Going as fast as I can. Food security is manpower. Food security is serious. If you can't feed yourself, you're serious. How can we have a nation that can't feed itself? How is that possible? It's not only we're going to feed ourselves, we're going to feed the world. We have a country that is in two temperature zones, the tropics and the temperate zone. We can grow anything. We are going to feed ourselves, Bahamas. We can grow anything. We have everything we need to grow anything we need. And so we're going to make it happen. We're going to invest heavily in our farmers, heavily in our farmers. Because we have 700 farmers, 700 farmers that are licensed, that have all the skills we need to grow our food. But the FNM and PLP kill our farming industry because they are in the food import business. They don't want you growing food here. They don't want you growing meat here because they make money importing it. And you see, anyone can grow something. But when they import food, they have the distribution on that food. And so if they have the distribution on carnation cream, for example, you have to go through them to get carnation cream, right? And that means that they're able to block you out. But if you have a milk farm, you can make cream on your milk farm. It can be made. They don't want that. They want you to come to them. $40 million on the Golden Joke program. Make eggs. And in 5 years, not one egg produced, not one. All it was a show. Bomsey was $60 million, then it ballooned into something crazy. It was a show. We still are not feeding ourselves. We're going to fix that. I wish I could talk about all the ideas we have, but we did a live on it past. Thank you. We did a live on it in the past, and you can just go back to our YouTube page because Facebook moves the lives now. Go to our YouTube page. You can see all of this that I'm talking about, and you can bring it back to life. But we will feed ourselves. We are going to grow organic food so that we're not competing with America because America, their number one industry is agriculture. A lot of people don't know that. So we're going to go into a niche market, which is organic food, and we're going to be able to eat better. Bahamians are dying from cancer, and no one is talking about it. The cancer rate is mind-blowing in this country. Bahamians are dying because we're eating this for export-only food. Dangerous food that's killing us, murdering us. And we just accept it, and our politicians are accepting it. I'm not going to let another Bahamian die from eating poison. If you choose to eat poison, that will be on you. It will no longer be mandatory because we're going to grow good food in the Bahamas. And so, watch out, it's coming. You can choose to vote for it, or you can continue to choose to vote for the oligarchs making the money, bringing in fake food, and you and your family dying. Everything that hurts the Bahamians, they benefit from. Wake up, Bahamas. All right? Yes, it's time for change. And so we're going to transform food security in a lot of different ways. I have to just summarize that for now. But look at our plan and look at our videos where we talk about it. We're going to really transform it. And that includes our fisheries, etc., our fish farming and all that kind of stuff. We're going to use canals for fish farming. There's a lot of canals that were dug just to make money off the limestones. They made billions. They just left it there. But that's a perfect fish farm, a controlled area that you can grow fish right in those canals in Grand Bahama. You have canals here in Nassau, we can do the same thing. And they can farm the fish in there. And they don't have to worry about the fish being in those little pools that they use. And the fish getting diseases and stuff because it's stuck with all of the feces and chemicals and urine. Everything is stuck there. And then they're giving antibiotics to the fish, et cetera, and that's where a lot of the problem comes in. But the canals naturally flow, and so it cleans itself. And so that's a much different scenario. that we're going to be utilizing. So stay tuned. Also, food security. You all know we got 13 salt ponds in the Bahamas. Many of our islands have salt ponds, including Rocket Island, Exuma, Cat Island, Long Island, Inagua, Ilutra. We have salt ponds everywhere. Why aren't we number one in the world in salt? Do you know how amazing it sounds, one, to get organic food from the Bahamas, from paradise? That's a niche market. Everyone will want that. The Bahamas, where there's no pollution, you get your food, your organic food from there. Every Whole Foods and all those European companies that sell organic food, they would eat that up. Yeah. Now imagine getting salt from the Bahamas. Salt life. Doesn't that make much more sense? Can you imagine real seafood, sea salt from the Bahamas? Everyone would buy that up. The problem is not money to do these things now. The problem is vision. That's it. There's so much that we can do. But I'm sitting and listening to the PLP and F&M talk about the same nonsense over and over. Now they're talking about building house. 5,000 homes. We can do that, but I ain't nothing to brag about. We need to transform this country. We've been building houses. That's just a normal thing to do. We've been paving roads. There's nothing to talk about. Come on, man. We've been building clinics. Time for hospitals on the family island. It's time for a great leap forward, Bahamas. Not a step forward, not a step in the right direction that they're calling progress. It's time for a great leap forward. It's time for us to take flight. It's time for the Bahamas and Bahamians to rise. And so we're going to be number one in the world in salt. We're going to buy modern salt, not just in Agua, the whole company. They've been wanting to sell that. We're going to take the monopoly worldwide on salt. Everyone eats or drinks salt every day. Everything you eat or drink has sodium in it, even water. Everyone uses salt every day. We're going to be number one of it. We got salt sitting on wasted. And we talking about the country broke. We talking about getting loans. And we wealthy. You got a gold mine in your yard. And you talking about you broke. You in the corner begging. And you got a gold mine. And talking about you don't have a pickaxe to get the gold, so you broke. Stay broke. But we can transform this country so that we benefit from what's going on. So food security includes the salt industry. All right. And so everything we need, we can get from what we have. All right. And so our oceans is going to be amazing. That's why we're going to have a Navy now to protect our seas, to protect our food in the ocean, our resources, our fish, etc. It comes from the Dominican Republic. Here, posting our waters, we taking your boat, we locking you up. You can do our time. Dominicans don't come because our Bahamian young men don't play. And guess what we're doing? We're going to deputize our Bahamian young men. So when they take your boat, that becomes their boat. You can come back in our waters. All right? Because it's ours. You can buy from us in the Dominican Republic, but don't come in our waters. Because either our defense force is going to get you or our fishermen are going to get you. Either way, all our fish on our boat and the boat is going to belong to them. If the defense force gets you, you go auction off the Bahamian company. If the fishermen catch you, that's theirs. We're going to draft up deeds for those boats for our Bahamian men. All right? Some people say that could lead to anarchy. Listen, them stealing all our fish out our water, us running out of grouper and having grouper season now, that's anarchy. Us running out of conch, that's anarchy. Stay out of our waters. We will protect our borders. Okay? All right. So that's food security. Let's get over to the next thing. Healthcare. My Lord, it's a serious one. I think I better take a drink of soda. I am tired of seeing the sad stories of people dying needlessly in the hospital. The biggest terror right now in the Bahamas is not even crime. The biggest terror in the Bahamas is going to the hospital because you don't know if you're coming back out. We've had family members be lost. We still trying to figure out how. They was just doing so good a couple of days ago. And they just went in there and they just died. And it's not because of the nurses and doctors, it's because of the system that they're in. How can you have a hospital without medication? A hospital where they got to be canceling surgeries. Where a hospital with the generator isn't working. And children dying in ICU because the generator isn't working. The air condition isn't working. Mold everywhere. Rats running around everywhere. And the Hunter virus coming. Rats running in the ceiling. Bahamas, how did we let this happen? We just kept voting PLP and F&M and don't care. That's how. They promise to build a hospital. They don't build a hospital. They get the loan for the hospital. The loan money go missing and they don't build a hospital. And then you shake your pom-poms and vote for them. So what are you telling them? You're telling them you don't want a hospital. That's what you voted for. You're getting no good health care, public health care, because they make money from you getting private services elsewhere. You're never going to get free MRIs, CAT scans, etc., because they make money from that. I was just informed, and I have to go and confirm this, that Bahamian women are being told to pay ahead of time for their bed if they're going to have a baby. That's to guarantee their bed. I heard it's $400 and something to guarantee a bed when they're going to have a baby. If that is true, it's a new phenomenon. Thank you. Now, anytime we get charged for anything in healthcare, even the $10 for clinic, if the foreigners don't have the money, they tell them, okay, you can go. But Bahamians say, so you got to find the $10. Yeah. What's happening in healthcare? There's no excuse for this. We cannot reward the F&M who got the $200+ million for multi-story hospital and did nothing. We cannot. Bahamas think it's Judgment Day. Judge them. Don't reward them for failure. They took the money and it disappeared. Now we have the PLP. Just got money for the hospital. What do you think happened? The same thing. It's going to disappear. They don't even own the land where they're trying to put the hospital. They flamming you. All they did was cut down some trees. In 5 years, that's all you did? How long it take to do this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you vote for it, this week, Dr. Veronica MacGyver is going to begin the process of building a general hospital. We are going to transform the plan. That maternity hospital is going to be scrapped, and the plans is now going to be for a general hospital that's second to none in the region, and a wellness center, an entire facility of a wellness center. We've already put out the documents to show you the planning for all of this. And we are either going to pay that family for their land and put something there, but we're going to put the general hospital in the southern part of the Providence. Why? Because the majority of people in the Bahamas lives in the southwestern, in the southwestern part of New Providence. All right? And so we're going to make sure that a hospital is there. In terms of healthcare, we're already starting conversations with healthcare companies from around the world to make this happen right away. Talking to professionals to get this done, right? There's simple things that we're going to do, like the clinics. The clinics are now going to be urgent care centers where they're almost like their own A&E. Where if you have an emergency, you can come there, and they're like A&E, and even you could have emergency surgeries in those clinics all around Nassau and all around the Bahamas. They're going to be urgent care centers that you can go to and get urgent care instead of piling up at A&E. Every one of those clinics are also going to have their own satellite ambulance center. So the ambulance is now going to be coming from the clinic in your community and not all the way from wherever they keep the ambulances on JFK or whatever that is. And so now the response time is going to be like nothing. We're going to do the same thing again with the fire truck. And we're going to make sure that they're in close proximity so you can get what you need. So with these solutions, you're going to be able to have a better response. We're bringing in telemedicine. We're bringing telemedicine back so that, listen, 80% of the things you go to A&E for, you don't need to go to A&E for. You understand that? Most of the things you go there for, you don't need to. And so we're going to use an app, and they're using apps like this in America right now and in other countries, where you can get a doctor in 90 seconds. You can go and, just like getting an Uber, you can go and choose a doctor and say, okay, I like this doctor, I always use him. Or you can just pick a doctor that's available, all right? And doctors can sign up for this and be a part of this on their spare time. And you pick a doctor, and you see the doctor, you're on video call, they'll tell you open your mouth, put the camera there, okay, show me where the wound is, show me what's hurting. And they are going to be able to send a prescription straight to your pharmacy, and you can just go to the pharmacy and pick it up. But also, in order to make things like this and other things work better, we are going to have zip codes in the Bahamas. You're going to have proper addresses that's in Google so that you can actually Google an address in the Bahamas. Listen, man, this is so doable. When you go to the US, you put in an address and then you go straight to that address. Why don't we have that here? Why? We're going to have zip codes and we're going to have proper addresses so stuff can be delivered straight to your house. Whether that's your car license and paperwork, because you're not standing in line for that stuff anymore. Anything that you need to order, it comes straight to your house because you now have zip codes, etc. So even if the doctor, the doctor sends the script to the pharmacy can now send that straight to your house. You don't even have to go anywhere. We're gonna make this thing work properly. It's time to advance the Bahamas, y'all. Let's advance, man. They're not giving any ideas to advance us. And so back to healthcare. We're gonna have free healthcare, Bahamas. Free healthcare. They say it costs $500,000. That's what CFAL and the government said. $500,000 to give free healthcare to every Bahamian. That includes surgery, cancer treatment, everything. Proper health. $500,000 is nothing. They steal $1.5 million every year. We can do this now. We're going to make this happen, and Bahamians are going to get free healthcare. But in order to get this healthcare, you're going to have to contribute. How will you contribute? Not in money. You contribute by making sure you don't get sick. And so our focus is going to be on wellness. And so you're going to be a part of a program so that you can make sure that you stay healthy. And so this program means that you're going to be assigned a medical officer, which can be a nurse or a doctor, etc., a trained professional who can monitor you. They'll have teams of people to monitor, and they're monitoring all of them. And these healthcare professionals are going to make sure that you get your checkups every 6 months or every year, depending on whether you're at risk or not. One of the reasons we get so sick and we end up dying so fast is because we can't afford the test. We don't go for our checkups every year. But if you can get these stuff free, all of it, your MRIs, your bone density, Everything is going to be tested to make sure that you're healthy. If you can get this, you won't have to worry about finding out you have cancer and it's in stage 4. We're going to be able to knock these things out right away before it becomes expensive. We're going to knock out diabetes. We're going to prevent that. Because once we see you're in the system and you're at risk, we're going to put certain things in place. You're going to participate in your health. You're going to recommend certain things. And if you want to stay getting free health care, you're going to participate. And so this is going to make life easy for all Bahamians, but it reduces the cost because we make you participate in your health. Because your medical officer will tell you, okay, you're at risk. We need you to jump on our app, and we need you exercising 5 days a week. And you're going to monitor that in your app. Free, if you want to be able to participate. So we're going to stop you from causing the healthcare system a bunch of money. You're going to get notifications. If you are a health risk and you pull up to Kentucky, your app is going to automatically remind you, hey, you choose the healthy choice at Kentucky. Maybe get the salad. It can do that. And we can monitor you to make sure because sometimes you just need some encouragement. Because discipline is hard, man. You just need some encouragement sometimes. And so we're going to make sure you stay healthy. So it's going to bring the cost right down. So with eating organic food and a healthcare system that's focused on wellness and not making money off of selling medicine, we're going to be just all right. I can't go into all details. We're going to build hospitals on the Family Island, all right? Proper hospitals. And people can stay in, get surgeries and everything they need. We're going to do that. Because we're moving a lot of y'all back to the Family Islands because of what we're building in the Family Islands. Yes, no need to come to Nassau, all right? Next is our vision for tourism. And you see how a lot of these things intertwine. They talk about culture and I'm talking about tourism and other stuff, all right? We want to quickly raise our tourism numbers to 20 million and then 30 million, all right? We want to compete with Dubai. Dubai don't have nothing on us, all right? We want to compete with them, and we're going to do that. And so the difference with the Dubai's tourism product is, anyone know the difference between Dubai's tourism product and our tourism product? The difference is they own their tourism product. They own those buildings. They own those hotels. They own the Burj Khalifa. They own it. And so the money stays in Dubai. And they formed a company called Nakil to build this tourism industry, and everyone gets a share. So people from Dubai get a share. So as these things make money, it goes to the people's pocket every year in dividends. All right? And so now we're going to own the hotel. All right? This week, once the Bahamian people vote for it, we're taking Lukaya back, eh? That's the first hotel we going to own as a people. We're taking that back. And we're going to build a resort with attractions, water slides, and all this kind of stuff. We're going into the tourism industry. We already have a hotel. That's a quick start. We're going to do it. Now, they can partner with us, but we're going to have ownership in that. And we're going to build other resorts. So the difference is our tourism right now is a advertising agency. We advertise for the hotel. Now we're going to own them. We're not going to sit around waiting for an investor anymore. We're going to build our tourism product based on us. We're going to build overwater bungalows. Why don't we have overwater bungalows? Do you all know that people go to Bora Bora and pay $10,000 a night for overwater bungalow? Why don't we have? They are cheap. That's like disposable. These are wooden shacks over the water. They don't cost as much as building a hotel, but people will pay a premium for that. Why don't we have them? Bahamas, it's time for the great leap forward. It's time to own the resort. Now, when I say all of this, I'm not saying that the government will run it, It will be run by private organizations. Most of the hotels you go to in America, 99% of them, are not run by the people who own them. They have management companies that actually run the hotels, experts in those areas. and they just pay for a brand to take over the hotel. So they're part of a network. Yes, the Marriott, the Hilton, and the Hyatt. They're the three major ones. All right. And so you can buy a hotel. Then you say, okay, Hilton, we want you to run this. I will make free money. You can run it. You get a percentage. Give me mine. I'll be skiing in the Alps. Why aren't we thinking differently? It's time for us to start making money as a country. It's time for us to multiply what God has given us. Y'all notice I ain't talking about the natural resources yet, but I've already shown you where you can make billions of dollars. And so we're gonna make the hotels. We're gonna have a lot of attractions for people to go to. We're gonna invest heavily in that, and we're gonna own the cruise ships. The money is in the cruise ships, y'all. The money is in the cruise ship. Wake up. Let's make the money. We can own the cruise ship. If a restaurant called the Margaritaville can do a cruise ship, why we do a cruise ship yet? Not even one? Not one? It's worth a try, man. Carnival, yes. Carnival has been making money, $20 billion a year. They're gonna double or triple that this year because they did more sailing. Because the catch up from Dorian. Not Dorian, COVID. The same with Royal Caribbean. They make 10 billion with a B dollars sailing our waters. Why don't we own Bahamas cruises? Everyone would love that. Now we take our culture to the world. You're eating Bahamian food on that cruise ship. You're seeing Bahamian entertainment on that cruise ship. And now we move the cruise ships around the Bahamas and we take economy to all of our islands. It can be done quickly. We're going to start with islands that already have a deep harbor. We have Morgan's Bluff that we can transform. There's a whole area there that we can transform and turn into a cruise resort for people to come to. We can go to Abaco. All right? We can go to Eleuthera. We can go to Exuma. We can travel our islands. Now Bahamians will have to move back home to have businesses to offer services to the cruise ships and to the people who are coming. Now everybody can go home to the islands. And guess what happened when you went home? You got the crown land to open your business on that island. You got the crown land to build your house on that island. And so now you got a head start. All right? And so now we move the economy around Bahamas. Not only do we move the tourism economy around the Bahamas, we benefit of other people's tourism product. We send boats to Jamaica, to Mexico, to the Cayman Islands. We send boats to the rest of the country, to the rest of the region. It's time, Bahamas. And we're going to make the money from sailing the region. We're going to turn, yes, we're going to turn Grand Bahama. We're going to turn Grand Bahama into a cruise ship hub where cruise ships people can embark cruise ships. So, you know what happens when you go to Miami? You go there, you stay for a night or a couple of nights, and then you board the cruise ship. But Miami benefited from you being there all the time. You rented the car, you rented a hotel, you bought food, etc., before you went on your ship. Now the same thing will happen in the Bahamas. There are people who don't want to go to America or can't go to America. They can board a cruise ship right here in Grand Bahama. Does that make sense? And so now they can embark there and disembark. All right, there. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we need greater vision. There's a lot more to talk about in tourism. Go look at our tourism plan. There's a lot there that we plan on doing, the types of resorts we plan on doing, even underwater hotels where you can wake up, and they're already built. They're ready to go. They call them the seahorse hotels, where the rooms are actually underwater. You can wake up and see turtles swimming past your room, you know, and sea sharks swimming past your room outside. And you're in your bedroom and you're underwater, literally, and you're seeing this beautiful scenery. And so they started to do it in Dubai already, but they don't have the waters that we have. All right, and so we got to catch up. We need a vision to move this country forward, not the little band-aids that the FMLP be talking about. All right, and so let's continue. We want to talk about banking and finance. we've talked about the changes we need to make in banking and finance, but there's a lot that we can talk about with this. I want to start summarizing. If I can open the floor, I want to hear from you all. But we're gonna take over the Bank of the Bahamas so we can give the banks competition. All those high fees and stuff they charge it, you're not gonna have them at our bank because our bank is not gonna be for profit. It's going to be just, it's going to need us enough money to operate, but it won't be for profit. And so all those fees they charge in and high interest rates and fees to keep your money or to withdraw your money, that stuff is going to come to an end through competition. We're going to have crypto wallets and that kind of stuff. We're going to use Bitcoin, etc., through our license with Bank of the Bahamas. And we're going to be able to use stuff like Cash App, etc., in our country. Things that Americans are using. We're going to be able to use it in our country. And we're going to transform banking. We're going to make sure that there's a bank on every single island. We're going to, all right. We're going to have ATMs on our family islands, remote ones, that can, and we've already done the research and then we've talked to the people who are going to partner with us on this. The ATMs, not only do they receive your money, they can spit back out the same money that you receive. And so it's harder for the ATM to run out of money because people putting money in, the same money goes back out. Because the ATM can check for counterfeit, et cetera, et cetera. When you go to a food store, any store, you might give them a $20 bill, and they take that same $20 bill and give to someone else as change. Right. So the money is circulating in their cash register. Why don't we have ATMs doing that? But what happens is they have ATMs now that takes money in, separates it, and then it runs out of money. But the money it took in is right there in the machine. But someone comes, takes that money and replaces that, they put new money in there. But meanwhile, the machine was broken down and staying out of service. But if they can spit back money that's in it, the machines are smart. We solved that problem. So we've already identified it. We've talked, meetings have already happened. Meetings have already happened with companies that can do this and provide this. And so you don't have to worry about banking on the family island. So ATMs can be connected to your bank account, your mobile app, your wallet, etc. And so we're going to be able to transform. I can't go too much into the banking, but we're going to transform banking. Cryptocurrency is going to become legal tender in the Bahamas. Well, Bitcoin is going to become legal tender. And so you're going to be able to spend Bitcoin like you're spending any money. All right. They did it in El Salvador and their economy just exploded. And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to have crypto millionaires in the Bahamas. Mark my words, you're going to see it. And we are talking to the experts every day who can make that happen. I've been meeting with them. I've been traveling to meet with them. And they're ready to do something new and different in the Bahamas, but they don't want to do it under the PLB and FNN. Our vision for land, I'll keep it here. To keep it fast. You know everyone getting their acre crown land. Everyone is going to be entitled to their acre of crown land. There are a lot of Bahamian families also that were ripped off of their land by Ingram and Christie, and we're going to bring justice back to all of those families. Those families, we're going to have them partner with investors who want to build resorts and build whatever they want to build in this country. The land is owned by Bahamians. Partner with them. Now we're going to make Bahamian millionaires because they're going to have shares in that because they own the land. All right? And so we're going to make Bahamian millionaires because a lot of them already have land that was issued to them by the king and the queen. But Ingram and Christie has been taking the land from them and giving it to the foreigners. Oh man, we got to fix this. All right? Let's keep talking. Energy reform. We go in solar. We go in hydro. You all know the vision we have for solar. Great them flamming with that. All right? They're flim-flamming. I told you all, I read the documents where it said that they are going to go solar eventually because we signed into certain agreements to force us to do it. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult for us to get loans, insurance, and all kind of stuff as a punishment. So they have to go some solar. But what they're doing is they're letting that be owned by Focal. That's the FNM and PLP. So they're going to provide the solar and charge us for what should be free from God, the sun. And so I showed you the documents to show you that that's what's going to happen. But we're gonna transform this. I wish I could elaborate, but just go look at our plans. Transport. Listen, man. Haiti and Jamaica have freeways with overpasses. We got roundabouts. I shame. When I went to Haiti and saw the overpass, I was like, they got overpass and we got roundabout that no one knows how to use. The reason we have traffic is because of the roundabout. They don't help because we don't know how to use them. But if you have an overpass, East Street and Independence Drive will never meet. Independence Drive goes over, East Street goes under. There's no reason to get stuck and clog up and wait for traffic to come around and roundabout. You go straight past that like it ain't even there. You have your off ramp so that if you're on Independence Drive, you come off the off ramp and then you go on to East Street. All right? We could have an overpass going over East Street, an overpass going over Blue Hill Road, an overpass going Battle Highway. We can do this. Yeah. It will destroy traffic. It takes so long to do anything in this country. Sometimes people are here at the headquarters waiting on me all day. And I say, come in now. I come in now. Someone be there, half hour. I'm stuck in traffic. I got 2 things to do, and that takes all day. Yeah. Because of the traffic problem, because we've been swamped with illegal immigrants. And our roads can't handle illegal immigration. When you go to America, you will never see them not building more highways. You can never go to America and not see highways being built. I don't care how good, all right. I don't care how good the roads are. They are always building more roads. They are thinking about the future. He just mentioned Burkina Faso is building their own roads with their own materials. And they have produced so many highways while we just paving over. Tar on dirt is not how you build roads. That's how you build potholes. But our transportation vision is very immense. It's very ambitious. But we're going to have the overhead monorails. It's going to be different and powered by solar. We're going to have the busing system is going to use electric buses from now on. We're taking over the busing system. Everyone who has a bus on a plate now is going to get a share in this system. So that we don't have buses speeding up and down on a place no more. We can have buses on a schedule with a mobile app that you can see where the buses are, you know, when you need to go on the corner. And they can leave on a schedule. So we're going to empower all of our bus owners by making them shareholders in this system. And they're going to make free money. Because we have to have a deal that works for both sides. They invested in their coastal buses, etc. You can't just kill them. We're going to make them part owners in a much bigger system. The buses are going to be disabled friendly. So that someone in a wheelchair can catch the bus and go from here downtown and come back and don't need to depend on anybody. The buses can pick them up, put them in the bus. Right? People who want to ride bicycles, you put your bicycle in the front of the bus and you go inside the bus. So we need to move forward, man. It's time to move forward. It's time. And so we're going to transform the busing system and we're going to connect our islands. In the first 5 years, we're going to have projects for 2 islands that we want to connect. And one is Abaco and Grand Bahama. There are keys to connect between them, and if we can do a bridge between all of them to connect Abaco and Grand Bahama. Now you got 2 major economies that you just exploded because now you could live in Abaco and work in Grand Bahama or vice versa. We're also going to connect Nassau and Eleuthera. Yeah. All right. And we do that because it's simple. And there's keys. If you go on Google Maps, you can see there's keys between all of them that you can connect the bridges to the keys. And you keep going straight to all of them, and it's very doable. All right. If you look at Key West, the distance between Florida and South Florida and Key West is much, much longer than the distance from Nassau to Luther. And so they did it, we can do it too. And when you connect Nassau and Luther, now you increase both economies. And so this is the two projects that we are going to do, we're going to accomplish right away. We're going to make this happen. All right? And so stay tuned for some of that, including some parts of it, because we have to allow ships to pass. Some parts is going to be bridge over water, and some parts is going to be tunnel underwater. They're doing this in the U.S. already. I don't know if you experienced it, but they have tunnels that go under than the bridge. Then you go back in the tunnel. So it happens. So why aren't we doing it? We're gonna get it doing. When I say underwater, it's not underwater like water is all around you. It's underground. So it's nothing to do with water. It can't leak or anything. It's literally underground, not underwater. All right. So our vision for entrepreneurs. Now it's getting late, so I'm gonna just mention these, but I can't go into all of them. We have a vision for entrepreneurs to empower them. We have a vision for the elderly. The first party with a vision for the elderly, I can't go into it. We have vision for education. I'm sure you've heard our vision for education. It is the greatest in Bahamian history. We have a vision for the disabled. The first party with a vision for the disabled, because we have to take care of them. We have to take care of them, and we're going to do that, and that includes the homeless, etc. Our sovereign wealth fund, we have laid out what we're going to do with the sovereign wealth fund, how it's going to be done. There's some people who don't believe that it could be done. We're going to show you how we can make all this money, etc., etc. I wish I had started with that, but I'll touch on that as I open for questioning. And also crime. All right. We're going to have a vision for crime. Tell the producer can get his light back on. We're going to have a vision for crime. I've explained it to you over and over. We are going to end crime in this country. There's no reason we should have crime. And the first way you combat crime is by empowering your people. Just so. That is the first way you get rid of crime. A lot of crime is poverty. A lot of crime is poverty. And so when we end poverty, which we will do in this country, there are other countries that ended poverty. Jesus said, the poor you'll always have with you. But he wasn't talking to us. He was talking to the Jews. Many countries have eradicated poverty. Qatar, Dubai, Norway, etc. They made all their citizens rich. Yeah. We can do the same thing. And so we're going to do the same thing. And so I want to leave that there. And if you want to discuss the sovereign wealth fund and all that kind of stuff and how it works, I'm going to open the floor for that. But let me I need another microphone for the phone. Let me open the phone lines for you. 803-5995. And I'm going to take questions from anyone who is here. All right, 803-5995. And I'm also going to take questions from anyone who is here. Election is tomorrow, y'all. And I wanted today to not have a day about hype and twerking and dancing. I wanted to have a real conversation about how we move this country forward. Amen. And that's what we're going to do. So tens of thousands of people are watching this all over the Bahamas right now. And I've never seen a rally with tens of thousands of people. But we got tens of thousands of people watching right now. And this is for you, Bahamas. This is a new way, a different way. Okay, the phone lines are already going off. It's already ringing. Call you live. Go ahead. What are you going to do for the queer people? The queer people? We don't have to do anything with them. Our country is going to be for all people, and everyone has human rights. All right. No one can abuse you because you are straight or gay or black or white. They already have things in place. No one can not give you a job or discriminate against you for that reason. Although it happens to other people, there are Bahamians who get discriminated against because they prefer to hire Haitians, so they discriminate against Bahamians. So there's rights that covers all people in this country, and we're going to be a government for all people. We don't care about your personal life, your personal business. We got to be a government for all people. That includes atheists, that includes Chinese, Black, Americans, all the people who are here. We're going to be a government for all people. All right? Thank you. 803-5995, 803-5995 is the phone number. You can call in, 803-5995. Anyone here have a question? Yes, I have a question. Go ahead, shout it at me. Oh, take this off. Take this off. Oh, she have one? Okay. One at a time, one at a time. So the first one was the clinic. Yeah. You wanted to know the shifts. Yeah. It's going to be, they're going to be open 24 hours. We don't, yes, it's going to be urgent care. All right. And so you'll have a skeleton shift at night based on the needs. So we have managers who's going to run these things. That's going to know when to have more shift and when to have less persons on. And they're going to manage this stuff properly. They're not going to guess this stuff. You're going to use patterns to understand when you need more people and when you don't. But they're going to be open 24 hours a day. So if you need help at night, you're going to get help. They're also going to have dentists in some of them, so that if you have a toothache at night, you don't have to wait until in the morning to go see a dentist. Sometimes you can't sleep. All right. And so if any of you ever had a toothache, you know why that's important. And of course, our Minister of Health is a dentist, and so she has plans to make sure that this happens. Next question. Next question is mental illness. I know that you have a person affected by mental illness that working in psychiatric institutions. We would normally rehabilitate them for a period of time, and then send them back out into the same community environment that caused, what triggered the mental. I like to know if y'all have place to that, like a step down, let's say, place for them to go to after being treated at the institution, putting them back in the same environment. That's why we have so much reoccurrence of over and over by the same patient. So I want to know if have something to that. Yes, it's called a halfway house. And our Minister of Education actually is the expert in some of these things. And but we're gonna make sure, as I said over and over, our mentally ill should be treated. They can't make the right decision because they're mentally ill. And sometimes you have to make the decision for them. We're gonna collect our people off the street. We will have no people walking the street. All right? Those people just need help. We treat mental illness the wrong way. That's just a sickness that can be treated like the flu. It's a mental illness. You can get medication and you can be normal. Everything can be good. But we stigmatize people because they have a mental illness. And some of us feel like people are going to stigmatize, oh, they saying I'm crazy. I ain't going to no psychiatrist. They can use you say I'm crazy. No, it's just therapy. And therapy is going to be a part of our wellness center. Is an important thing. Your medical advisor that you're going to be assigned as part of the healthcare program is going to make sure that we study that side of it. If you are in a stressful job, we're going to give you free counseling, because it's not just being crazy. You could have a stressful job that could cause you to be at a breaking point. You could have a stressful life. You could be a single mother out there, stressed, don't know how your children are going to eat, etc., and that could be stressful. And so we got to make sure that you get the proper counseling. Why not? You're paying your taxes. Right. All right? All of this should be included, and we're going to take care of these things. Persons can get cleaned up. They can. There was a white fella, I forgot his name, who used to be by McDonald's all the time. He's a nice fellow. He used to be there begging. His problem was drugs. Our society didn't go and try to grab him. But at some point, someone did. And he cleaned up so nicely. He ended up getting married. He ended up having a good life. Yes. All right. He transformed his entire life. All right. And I know other persons who were on the street and persons looked out for them, and that happened. I know one of them that happened to that used to hang out outside our barbershop, and we helped him, we cleaned him up, and that transformed his life. Some people just have a bad break. Let me help you understand it. What's the battery? Make sure the battery's okay. Some people have a bad break. As a police officer on Bay Street, we had this fellow who used to always go and just break a glass to one of the stores, John Bull or one of them. He just take a rock and smash the glass and just stay there and wait for us to lock him up. And everyone just go there. Sometimes they'll rough him up. Sometimes beat him up. He's like, why are you doing this? Say, go over there, get him, stop this. And one day I decided to, because he was going to, I think I was Bank of the Bahamas on the corner at one point across from the Hilton, and he was there and he was going to do that. We caught him and stopped him. And while we were waiting on the car to come and pick him up, I decided to talk to that young man. And I got his story. And his story touched me. Because you never know what people went through when you're out there judging them. And there's nothing in society to help them. It's serious, y'all. The man said he was a hard-working man, worked 3 jobs, because he had a girlfriend who was high maintenance, and he was trying to keep up. He's working at a hotel, 2 hotels, and he was doing all kind of stuff. And one day he was working so hard, his body just broke down. He came back home early because he was just broken down. And when he came home, he opened the door, and she was cheating on him, right, with another man right there by the door. They didn't stop. He walked over them, went and grabbed some of his clothes, walked back over them, and left. That tripped him out. He ended up drinking, catch himself, and he ended up getting locked up, being drunk, went in jail, ended up trying cocaine for the first time in jail. Tell me how that happens. Ended up getting raped in jail, ended up hooked on drugs, back on the street, and couldn't get his life back together. That's what that young man went through, a hard, striving young man. Sometimes these guys you see walking the road, there's a story. And all we got to do is love our brothers. I love the amen so much. We have the man to clean up himself. But a lot of them just need some help. So we're going to treat mental illness special. All right? Silence, we're not going to have a special place like that anymore. It's going to be a part of the whole system. All right? So people don't get stigmatized. All right? So there's a lot more we could talk about, but all of this starts tomorrow. You got someone online and I'll take the question. Give me that person that's on it. Call you live. Go ahead. Good night. Awesome. Yes. Yeah, I said that earlier in this discussion, and I guaranteed that. All right, the discussions are already been happening, and we're going to partner with Facebook and Twitter and these other platforms to make that happen. You know who's blocking it? It's not Facebook and Twitter and the rest of them. It's our government. Our government is blocking it, not them. All right. He asked about a set time for promotion, etc. Yes, that is something we are going to do, and you're going to be promoted based on your merit. All right, not based on who you know or what party you're a part of. You're gonna be promoted based on your merit.
My last question was to be on the entire Bahamas. What is your interest to be in and why the government is not paying Kalina? The clients are now paying to have to put that bill when that should be included.
Well, Kalina is owned. Well, the government can't pay them because they're stealing all of the money. That's the first thing. But Kalina is owned by Anthony Ferguson and partners. All right. The government is on the side offering, well, having Anthony Ferguson and them involved in our carbon credit. They're trying to take $11.34 billion from us right now as we speak. All right. Anthony Ferguson formed the company in his own name. So the thing is, okay, we owe you all some money, but we got these billions coming for you all in the set. As soon as the election is finished, they're gonna grab the carbon credits, and everyone is gonna say, "Oh my God, Lincoln was right." That's if it's vote for them. We're gonna go and take all the carbon credits. Too late.
Thank you, Mr. Pino. And with this, I would like you to be in Psalms 35. Come be in Psalms tonight before we move to Baltimore. Be in Psalms 35. Ask anybody in the crowd right now to read the first three verses we asked so much to fight against war, to fight against with me, your cause.
Thank you, my brother. And so he brought up transportation again. I'll sneak another thing in there. Every country that went to greatness, like Dubai, Qatar, etc., they started their own airlines. They went for their tourists. They didn't depend on other airlines to get their tourists. They let them do it too, but they didn't depend on an older line caller. There's one person before you. Um, they did Qatar Airlines. The Emirates have their own airlines, and they are luxury, and you want to travel on those airlines. You can do the same thing with Bahamas Air. You're going to want to travel on Bahamas Air. We're going for our own tourists, wherever they are in the world. If they're in China, Bahamas Air, they're in China. We're going to get our tourists without depending on someone else. That's a national security issue. When you're depending on someone else for what your country needs. We also talk about the ferries that are going to be transporting throughout all of the islands. So ferries that cover over the water. They're not a plane, they're not a boat, they're in between. And they're very fast, and they're going to be able to make you able to be transported from Inagua to Freeport on the same day. Inagua to Maguana to Cat Island. You can go to any island in the Bahamas because of how these are going to be running like a bus system or a train system to where they're constantly moving from jumping from island to island, and you get off on your island. All right, and you can go travel all the islands in one day. You can travel from Managua to Grand Bahama. All right. Some planes have a bus route just in the Southern Islands. They go back and forth in the Southern Islands constantly, and then you jump off on the last one if you want to go to the Central Islands. Jump off if you want to go to the Northern Islands. We're going to run it like a bus system, and that way in one day, and it's going to be cheaper because those ferries are run fueled by hydrogen, and that's water. And so it's going to be cheaper than airlines, etc. I'm going to take the question in studio. Go ahead. Good evening, Mr. Prime Minister. Good evening.
What about the Removal Property Act? You know, who would they go to the Bahamas and cost land, prices to go sky high, all the way to the
The Movable Properties Act will be gone by next week. Let's go to phone lines. Yeah. Call you live. Go ahead. Yes. First of all, healthcare is going to be free. Healthcare is going to be absolutely free. There will be no one who can afford any healthcare. We're going to make sure that happens. Dr. MacGyver is ready to start building our wellness center this week. we are hitting the ground with that because we already have the plans, etc. The money that we got from the Chinese, sorry, some bikes are passing. The money that we got from the Chinese, we're going to add to that, and we're going to build a general hospital, and we're going to complement that with a wellness center so that we focus, and that's going to have things like a gym and all kind of therapy centers and other things, and we're going to incorporate traditional medicine and naturopathic medicine, etc. Not just the pharmaceutical stuff that we're used to. And she always says bush medicine. And so everything is going to be included. You're paying your taxes. Instead of them stealing the money, we can put the money into making sure we stay healthy. Yes. They're saying that they can't hear the caller. So producer, can you fix that list? Go ahead, caller. Well, the caller is talking about. Thank you for your call. I'll answer your question. Okay. The caller is talking about girls and boys after school. What can we do that's better than that to really fix that situation? We're creating more problems instead of helping them. Hold the line. Call you next. Um, uh, Listen, I was saved from this community that was a very rough community I grew up in. Some of my friends and neighbors turned out to be bad boys. We were good boys when we was young. What helped me was the youth groups that I was a part of. I was always doing something. I didn't have idle hands. And so we're going to steal our young people from the streets. We're going to steal them from the streets because we're going to have so much youth programs that we're going to be funding. Why spend the money on them in prison when you could spend the money to keep them out of prison? Yeah. Just spend the money to keep them out of prison. And so we're going to have so much youth programs. And she talked about having different types of schools, vocational schools, etc. for them. If you read our educational plan, our plan for education is second to none. All right? Teachers Union was blown away by it. Even international persons were blown away by it. It's an 86-page plan. And so the first thing we're going to do is identify students' proclivity, which means a natural tendency. People learn in different ways. There's actually 8 different ways that people learn. We're going to identify that. I'm sure you saw the live when we were meeting with one of the experts in that area who transformed Singapore and Finland and other countries, their education, and their top in the world. And he's willing to come out of retirement to help get the Bahamas together with education, right? Because they know how to do it. And so we're going to identify some people are dexterous, they're better with their hands. Some people are academic. But our problem is we are grading a fish on its ability to climb a tree. And that's where we're messing up. All right? We're going to teach you the way you learn. Some people are creative. We're going to teach the creatives the way they learn. Some people are athletic. We're going to teach them and have sport programs that incorporates education in the way they learn. And so we're going to do this. All right? It's worth the try because the educational system right now just ain't working. Of course, we de-average if you're teaching everyone as if they are academic. All right? Of course, you're going to always be de-average. It's not the students that are de-average. It's the educational system that's de-average. They are failing, not the children. And so, go look at our education system. I wish I could go into it more tonight, but I'm thanking you for spending your evening with us, having a real conversation about where this country can go starting tomorrow. Let's go to the phone line. Call your line. Go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you. Awesome. Fine, we could be outside tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. That's the last call we could take. Um, Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's people going to tell you we can't benefit from our natural resources. Everything I've said to you has turned out to be the truth. I've shown you documentation for everything I have said. They told you the carbon credits wasn't real. Now they're about to steal $11.34 billion of it. That's your money. That's your money. So there's people out there in blue and red shirts tonight shaking up themselves and going home to a leaky roof, current off. There's nothing in the closet. It's time for the great leap forward. And I hope you are ready for Bahamas that is making money for itself with our sovereign wealth fund, not taxing the people to death. I want you to understand that we are headed for income tax. By June, they're going to start the process, and that's this June, of implementing income tax if you vote for the PLP or the FNM. If you vote for us, we are going to go and make money through our natural resources and through the businesses that we're going to go into. We're not going to be a poor nation anymore. Singapore has no natural resources. They made all of their citizens wealthy. Every single one has $1 million in the bank. I didn't say worth $1 million. In the bank with no natural resources. All they did, instead of having national insurance like we do, they have an investment fund. So a part of your salary is taken out every week, every month. And so when foreigners come to open a business in Singapore, they say, you going off and our people going off. Where the money coming from? Their investment fund. Because they've been taking money out of your salary and holding it right there so that when it's time for investment, you can use that money to be a shareholder in all of these things. This is how we're going to transform this nation. Everything that we're saying to you can be done. There is nothing we are saying that is unique to the Bahamas. How are our politicians traveling all over the world, seeing all this stuff in action, and not bringing it back to the Bahamas? How can you go to Dubai and see that they have a district cooling system, which means they cool water, which is cheaper than doing ACs, and they run the water through pipes into all the buildings, and air goes over the pipes into your room. Their temperatures are mind-blowing. But you don't feel it when you go to Dubai because of the district cooling system that decreases the cost of electricity by 50%. Something we're going to do here. Guess what? Dubai has a district cooling system. When you drive on what's that? Not Dubai, Bahamas. Bahamas has a district cooling system. When you drive past Bahamas, there's a district cooling system there where they cool the water, send it into the hotel, and that feels good, right? You wouldn't even know that was in regular AC. And so the same way you can actually cool neighborhoods, just how you send water to people's houses to pipes, you could have district cooling system where you have one area at the part of your community and it pumps cool air into all of your houses. This can be done. That's a project, but it can be done in every community, especially the new community. But you won't have to worry about having air-conditioned systems in your house, which will reduce the cost of your house, your electricity, and everything else by a huge number. We got to start thinking forward. We got to start trying for something greater than we've been doing. I'm not having these, and I am disappointed that we did not debate going into this election. But I'm glad because I wasn't going to be there on that stage talking about fixing potholes and roads and clinics. And I'm not having those conversations. And that's why they don't want to debate. They don't have any forward movement for this country. We have to get the money in the hands of the people. We have to get the money in the hands of the people. We can do it. We will do it. So you have a choice, Bahamas. Tomorrow you can go 50 years backwards or 50 years forward. It's time for the great leap forward. I hope you're ready.
Yes, we are.
Find out your polling station, go out to vote, and go out to vote early. Go out to vote and go out to vote early. I can't take any more calls. The phone's still ringing. I'm going to be to the polls early. I want you to be there with us. Don't be distracted by how hard everything is. Don't be distracted by the hot sun. There's some people who want to take over your country and they're willing to stay on a boat in the hot sun with no food and water for days to get here, to get what's yours. All we need is you to spend a couple hours in the hot sun if you have to. Don't leave. They want you to don't vote because most Bahamians are not interested in the PLP and FNM anymore. They want the foreigners to vote. They want the foreigners to vote. And so it's time. This is a combination of all we've been fighting for. All the education we've been giving you. This is it, Bahamas. Tomorrow is Judgment Day. Tomorrow we go to war. Come go to war with me. There's some other people fighting to take over your country. We are fighting to save it. Just stand with me. Stand with me. Stand with me, Bahamas. It's time. And so, for every Bahamian all over this country, my police officers, come go with me. My defense force officers, come go with me. My police officers, my prison officers, my custom officers, my immigration officers, come go with me. I will take care of you. I will make all of you great again. I was there. I know how you feel. I'm embarrassed that our police officers are now wearing hand-me-down uniforms. They are wearing uniforms that came from officers who have died, officers who have left the force. They are giving our police officers hand-me-down uniforms, man. What kind of dignity is that, man? There's nothing more beautiful than a man or woman in uniform. And now the dignity of that has been taken away from us because they can't even make uniforms for our police officers. And we would dare vote for them. You're looking like this thing is freezing. I don't know if this is frozen. To our nurses, you all been fighting, man. We could pay you good. We could build a hospital that you could work in. We give you a proper work environment. We can give you the best insurance that money can buy. And that's only if you need to go away for insurance, but healthcare here is going to be free. And you are going to spearhead that. Our doctors, you'll get paid properly, man. Very properly. You're going to love yourself. We're going to pay our teachers and nurses, etc., because they worth it. If we loosen them, just pay them. Exactly. We have competition. So we have to pay them more. It's simple as that. And so, come with us. All of our civil servants who've been suffering all this time, and New Bahamas is there. We're going to take good care of you. Our civil service is going to be taken care of. You won't have to fight for your pay, etc. anymore. Because no one is going to be stealing that $1.5 billion a year. Your money right there, you know, and your money could be right. We can fix this, right? And so there's a lot of issues. I can't talk about all of our issues, but you know one thing. All of the problems that you talk about, that you complain about, there's one solution to it. Remove the PLP and FNM. There's some people saying that they don't believe the COI could win. they don't really understand this country. All right, Bahamas are tired. Bahamas are fed up. And there's a quiet revolution happening. And y'all are about to see it tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to wrap up. I'm going to go live at some point tomorrow from the final polls. Want you to join me. Come hang out under the tent. We're going to be there all day. We got food, so come and hang out with us. But we're going to be at CV Battle. If you're in Pinewood, that's where we're going to be voting from. And so come and be a part of greatness. Come and be a part of history. Come sit under that tent. You got some nice spots. They can be decorated like how you see our set is. They can look good. You got some nice, good chairs for you to sit in. You can lounge out all day. All right, I can be in one lazy boy chair. It's gonna be nice. You got the TV out there and all. All right, so you can sit down and watch some of our documentaries, watch TV, come hang out with us, and be a part of the change. History's gonna be made tomorrow. At the end of the night, we're gonna head down to our national headquarters. And that's where all road leads. Once you see those numbers start coming in, all roads lead to our national headquarters, and the new Bahamas will begin. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. Bahamas, it's time. See you in the new Bahamas.